basically like,
Get out of here.
mystique for non-living objects.
Okay,
I mean,
come
this
on.
ain't your...
Hey guys, NickReactzPlays here. Welcome to another video. Today we are reacting to Food Theory. Kool-Aid Man is my really? What? My Kool-Aid? No one touched my Kool-Aid. Written by the Food Stewards. Okay, so I will leave a link down below. Check out the video yourself if you haven't it, and the channel so I'm subscribe. Shout out to this person there for recommending this video. Just like to watch it now. So let's get to my Kool-Aid.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer.
Hey, Kool-Aid Man, got a question for you.
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you the jar, or are you the liquid inside your jar?
Well, I got a question for you.
Who the
Are
hell
you
is
the
that?
ugly face or the know-it-all inside the ugly face?
Damn.
Yeah, pretty rude, ain't it?
Yeah, right.
Are you drinking yourself?
Oh, yeah.
What the? Don't say that. Here we go. Fat. We got Kool-Aid.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory, the show
Okay.
that feeds you the facts with plenty of punchlines. We here at Food Theory usually tackle
Not my
topics
Kool-Aid.
like,
Nobody touch my Kool-Aid.
Kind of goes with the name. But today we were inspired to do something a little bit different. Something a little cooler with a K, if you know
Wow,
what I mean.
shocking.
Yep, today we're theorizing about everyone's favorite beverage mascot from
Kool-Aid!
grade school, the Kool-Aid Man.
Hey.
Ask any rando on the street if they love the Kool-Aid Man, they'll probably tell you, oh yeah. How can you not enjoy this guy? Since being introduced in 1954, the Kool-Aid Man
Dang,
has
that was
become one of the most
that
iconic, enduring, and memeable food mascots of all time. Besides, the product he's selling you helps you hit your daily recommended sugar intake in a single glass. Who doesn't love efficiency like that? And that's
Duh.
pretty much how everyone's been thinking of the Kool-Aid Man for decades and decades and decades and decades. But
Yep.
earlier this year, an online debate was ignited, and it's been raging ever since. People across every conceivable platform are trying to figure out whether the Kool-Aid Man is the glass jar or whether he's the liquid inside that glass jar. Like, where exactly is the Kool-Aid Man's
That's a-
soul? Is it
that's
the
a good
liquid,
question.
or is it the pitcher that contains the essence of the Kool-Aid Man's being? So, I have two things to say about this.
I'm
First,
confused.
Kool-Aid Man is absolutely and verifiably the glass pitcher. Guys, we straight up watch him fill himself with regular old shower water in a commercial. Close up shop, pack it in. The Kool-Aid Man is a sentient glass pitcher that fills himself with water and flavoring as a part of his morning routine. Done. But hey, that's just the theory of food theory. No, that's not it. You see, there's a second point I'd like to make in all this. This is he the jar business is entirely the wrong debate we should be having about the Kool-Aid Man. What should be
My favorite
concerning us
is
about this
punch.
guy is
Punch
whether
guy.
he can be stopped. Listen up and listen good, folks. Here's today's theory, and it's a doozy. The Kool-Aid Man is low-key becoming the most unstoppable force in any known universe, and before long, he may just become the big villain of the next generation of Marvel films. And this isn't just some theoretical exercise where I'm gonna argue that the Kool-Aid Man might one day join the Marvel universe if fans beg it to happen. I'm telling you that the Kool-Aid Man is already in the Marvel universe, and fans better start begging for him to leave it yesterday. Otherwise, they're gonna have themselves a second Thanos on their hands, only this time, he's also cool, refreshing, and filled with a whole lot of sugar. Consider this, the Kool-Aid Man has been growing stronger and accruing powers for over 65 years. In 1954, he was merely a
65 years,
sentient
baby.
juice pitcher and nothing more. His origins
Kool-Aid
unclear, but in the mid-20th century, he was the size of a normal juice pitcher, and he was immobile on account of having no limbs. By 1975, however, that had all changed. The Kool-Aid Man had evolved. He had somehow grown limbs, making him approximately the same height as everyday human adults. With his newfound mobility and strength, the Kool-Aid Man went about making his mark on pop culture by smashing through walls and giving mysterious, unsolicited drinks to children.
Oh yeah, Kool-Aid here. Bring
Okay.
your fun. Kool-Aid
Yeah, I said it.
got
Oh,
no
yeah.
thirst on the run. Get a big, wide, happy ear to hear Kool-Aid.
As a parent, I'm not sure that commercial would convince me to buy Kool-Aid for my kids, but hey, it was a different time. Fortunately,
true.
contemporary commercials are way less creepy.
Something's happening in
Like
my
what?
mouth.
Or not. Fast forward to
Those-
this decade, and we can immediately see that the Kool-Aid Man's evolution
Don't ever say
hasn't
that. Don't ever say
stopped.
that again.
What's that?
Isn't Kool-Aid liquid?
Squirt some in the water and boom, Kool-Aid.
Okay, so his voice definitely
Wow.
isn't as good as it used to be back in his
Okay, that's good.
yeah days,
That's
but
good.
everything else about him has evolved, like his size. In the 70s, he may have been approximately 6 feet tall, but these days he is absolutely towering over human beings. By my calculations, Kool-Aid Man is 32% taller than the woman opposite him in this commercial from 2014. The
Damn.
average height of an American woman is 5 foot 4 inches, which would put the Kool-Aid Man's height at just over 7 feet. Oh, and
Damn.
never mind the fact that the Kool-Aid Man also now possesses the ability to straight up inhabit any non-living object that he desires. I'm gonna say that again because there's a good chance that the adults out there haven't checked in on the old Kool-Aid Man for a decade or two. I repeat, 21st century Kool-Aid Man can transform himself into any non-living object he desires and make it living. He's basically like,
Get
I don't know,
outta here.
Mystique, for non-living objects.
Okay,
I mean,
come
this
on.
ain't your grandma's juice pitcher with a face.
Lol.
For one thing, your grandma's juice pitcher is made of glass, and the Kool-Aid Man is made of something not glass. How can we be sure? Because of this revealing moment. As anyone who's
Oh.
ever pulled this trick at a dinner party can tell you, that loud
Yeah,
hum
that's true.
sound can't be achieved if a wine glass is made of everyday glass. It has to be made of crystal, because the resonant frequency, basically the frequency at which a given object naturally vibrates, of crystal glassware often falls within the range of human hearing. Now, does this mean that Kool-Aid Man is made
I'm
of
confused.
crystal? I'm thinking it
Okay.
does, but more on that in a bit. Because right now I want to get to our top story of the day. The present-day Kool-Aid Man possesses the ability to create portals that link dimensions together.
Bruh.
Come on. Let's go.
Plus, he's been gaining strength and powers non-stop for 66 years and shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, it's just the opposite. Dude could be immortal for all we know because he's gaining powers at an accelerating rate. And that's precisely what makes him so dangerous. Loyal theorists, there's no telling how powerful the Kool-Aid Man might become if he goes unchecked. Now, at this point, you might be saying to yourself, so what, MatPat? Let the Kool-Aid Man become powerful inside his isolated little Kool-Aid universe. Well, that's
Yeah.
precisely where you're wrong, Jack. Because get
Bruh.
this, Kool-Aid
My
Man
name's
is
Nick, not
part
Jack.
of the Marvel Universe. Yeah, that is officially canon. And we're not talking about some little cameo here either. In 1983, he got his own Marvel comic book series, The Adventures of Kool-Aid Man.
Really?
Consumers were encouraged to mail in proof of purchase seals in order to collect the comics, which featured the Kool-Aid Man battling evil creatures called Thirsties on Earth, throughout outer space, and even through time. This is not a joke. The Kool-Aid Man is a superhero who saves Earth from thirst. Again, and I cannot stress this enough, this is Marvel canon. Here is the Kool-Aid Man explicitly referring to the Amazing Spider-Man in 1983. I repeat, the Kool-Aid Man's comic books link him to Marvel's mainline 616 universe. Precisely the same Marvel universe as the Avengers, as Spider-Man, as the X-Men, as basically every other Marvel character you care about. And even if it weren't the mainline 616 universe, it wouldn't matter. Thanks to Spider-Verse and Endgame, universe hopping ain't totally out of the question in the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore. In
Yeah.
fact, if I had to pick one outsider who could justifiably hop into the mainline 616, I'd
Pick you.
probably go with the Marvel hero who, you know, can create portals that allow him to hop between universes. Look, all I'm saying is that if Howard the Duck can make an MCU appearance, the Kool-Aid Man is certainly not out of the question. So no, the Kool-Aid Man is not isolated to some fictitious universe that can't possibly affect your life. He's liable to interfere with movies and IP you love to your core. I know you like the guy because he's the mascot of your favorite childhood drink and he's super memeable and all that, but it's
Yeah.
time to recognize the truth of the matter. Kool-Aid Man is in a position to hurt you. Again, it's the evolution of the Kool-Aid Man that's so dangerous here. We can even put a numerical value on his astounding accumulation of superpowers, thanks to Marvel's Power Grid. If you're unfamiliar with the Marvel Power Grid, the website Fandom
That's ruined my
describes it
Kool-Aid
like
dude.
this. Quote, the Power
What's the
Grid
difference
is the
though?
means by which the proficiency of any given character in 6 different areas of prowess is officially quantified and ranked. In any
Okay.
given area, 1 represents the lowest and 7 the highest rank achievable. So the Power Grid is the official metric of measuring superpowers across the Marvel Universe, which means
Okay.
that we can apply the Power Grid to Kool-Aid Man. In 1954, his Power Grid scores couldn't be more straightforward. 50's Kool-Aid Man gets the lowest scores possible, straight 1s across all 6 categories. As far as intelligence is concerned, he communicates only through simple song phrases he learned by rote.
Be sure that the envelope says Kool-Aid.
50s era
Okay.
Kool-Aid Man has no limbs, which means he's completely immobile. He has no speed, no fighting ability, no strength to speak of. He exhibits no evidence of energy projection, and his durability is never put to the test. As a result, he's basically the crappiest hero you could ever imagine, with a combined power grid total of 6.
Kool-Aid.
By the time the 70s roll around, though, the Kool-Aid Man has grown himself some limbs. While 70s era Kool-Aid Man is technically mobile, he's not quite fast enough to be considered of normal speed like Wolverine and Captain America are. So he remains at a 1 for speed. However, the durability department is where the 1970s Kool-Aid Man shines. 20 years ago, he was just the glorified equivalent of a paperweight.
Okay.
Now he's bursting through walls without a scratch to show for it,
Oh,
meaning that
yeah.
he's more durable than an average human. That is the very definition of enhanced durability, and it earns him a score of 3 in that department. 70s era Kool-Aid Man has a combined power grid total of 9. But it's when we depart from the 1970s that Kool-Aid Man's power grid numbers really start to move. Intelligence-wise, he moves up to a 2. Not only is he using logic to defeat the thirsties in his comic, he's also dropping some killer puns. I mean, if that's not average intelligence, I don't know what is. As for strength, the Kool-Aid Man is able to hold his own body weight plus 2 kids single-handedly from a rope. The power grid defines average strength as the ability to press your own body weight over your own head, and this slick rope maneuver Kool-Aid Man pulls off is more than comparable. 2 points for strength. As for speed, in the 70s he was stumbling around like a top-heavy toddler. Today, he's running around nimbly with the speed of a normal human at least. His durability remains enhanced, so that's still 3 points, and he makes quick work of multiple thirsties on multiple occasions, which gets him 2 points for fighting ability. But the huge leap is in energy projection. Folks, the Kool-Aid Man is suddenly capable of projecting light energy, portals, snow.
Let's go!
That's right, the Kool-Aid Man can create his own snow. He can project multiple types of energy, which actually makes him a level 6 in this category. Present-day Kool-Aid Man has a cumulative power score of at least 17. In terms of cumulative points, that puts Kool-Aid Man right on the heels of Earth 616 Spider-Man, Earth 616 Wolverine, and even Professor X. Never mind the fact that he's capable of some insane things the power grid doesn't even have explicit categories for, like the ability to hop between universes, or the ability to inhabit pretty much any non-living object you can imagine. At this rate, where will he be 40 years from now? 10 years? 1 year? Point is, we're running out of time. Soon, nothing will be able to stop the Kool-Aid Man. And as a matter of fact, he might already be too late. Remember earlier when I mentioned that the Kool-Aid Man might be made of crystal? That's because he exhibits powers eerily similar to those of the Queen of Crystal Heart herself, Emma Frost, whose crystal of choice is organic diamond. Emma, who's from the X-Men canon, which is a Marvel property, which means that the Kool-Aid Man may just be made of the same type of crystal as Emma. When in her diamond form, Emma Frost becomes translucent, but maintains mobility, and she's virtually indestructible. Remind you of anyone in particular? And when she's in her diamond form, Emma Frost is resistant to heat, to cold. She has no need to breathe. This brings to mind the Kool-Aid Man's casual jaunt into outer space without so much as a spacesuit on. In order to survive a spacewalk like that, and he did survive it just fine, he would have to have no need for oxygen, and he would have to be able to weather extreme temperatures that no human can possibly withstand. The implication, of course, is that the Kool-Aid Man may have similar powers to the incredibly powerful Emma Frost. Might this indicate that some of Emma Frost's other impressive abilities, such as telepathy, telekinetic potential, will they come to the Kool-Aid Man in time? If so, it hardly seems fair, as he already has himself a wide variety of other superpowers reminiscent of other powerful Marvel characters. The Kool-Aid Man has a Doctor Strange-like ability to create and utilize portals, he can shapeshift into non-living objects like some kind of off-brand Mystique, and not least of all, he's got Juggernaut's ability to run through walls and deliver unforgettable catchphrases.
I'm the Juggernaut!
Reaction.
I mean, we already have Iron Man, Spider-Man, Ant-Man. Why not Kool-Aid Man? I can see it now. With grape powder comes great responsibility. So listen up and listen good. Unless you want to see the Kool-Aid Man squeeze himself into a skin-tight Avengers bodysuit, you need to act now. Marvel fans everywhere need to make our collective voices heard immediately, because let's face it, the Kool-Aid Man is already objectively cooler than Hawkeye, so he could absolutely be added as an Avenger yesterday. And how's this for some added nightmare fuel? Kool-Aid Man could just as easily emerge as Marvel's most powerful super villain. It all depends on his psyche, I suppose. Who knows where that could be headed, given that he shares so many traits with one of the most powerful super villains in the Marvel universe, Emma Frost. But that doesn't even matter, because there's already plenty of evidence out there that the Kool-Aid Man has himself a dark side. Obviously, he's endangered children countless times over the years by bursting through load-bearing walls. He also
Damn.
seems to have a weird,
I remember that one.
uncontrollable Mr. Hyde thing going on when he comes into contact with the element neon. It's important for us to keep an eye on.
Neon.
Because in recent years, he's repeatedly demonstrated his ability to contaminate water supplies on a massive scale.
Drinks are on me. Come on.
Folks, this is dark. Consider the sea life beneath those jet skis, my friends. The Kool-Aid Man is replacing the salt water those organisms need to survive with sugar water. They say serial killers often dabble in animal cruelty before they go on a killing spree. I can't help but wonder if that's what we're witnessing here. Oh, and let's not forget the time he straight up disappeared a girl in broad daylight. Again, for the people in the back, the Kool-Aid Man just disappeared a girl like he's Doctor Strange's creepy alter ego, Doctor Stranger Danger.
Damn.
Now, was this a sinister act? Did he just send her to an awesome alternate dimension where Kool-Aid flows like wine? Frankly, I don't care, because the fact of the matter is that he can disappear people, and he doesn't bother to ask for their consent first. And guess what the Kool-Aid Man does the instant he commits his crime? He shapeshifts and disguises himself like a baseball hat. Like, how are the cops ever gonna catch this freak? He can instantly disguise himself as anything. Plus,
Damn.
it's always these cops who respond to the Kool-Aid related crimes.
Mind if we look around?
I'm working on lemonade too.
So yeah, if and when the Kool-Aid Man breaks bad, I don't think he's getting caught anytime soon. And that should all give us pause. So will we see Kool-Aid Man in a Marvel movie anytime soon? Only
No.
time will tell. But one thing is
But what
for
they
sure,
do is I
unless
want my
someone
Kool-Aid.
interferes,
My
the
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid Man is on a trajectory to grow more powerful than any being in any universe. Yes, even Thanos. Sorry, but that's how unencumbered growth works, folks. It is inevitable. And once the Kool-Aid Man becomes too powerful to stop, he becomes too powerful for the MCU to ignore. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory.
I was thinking.
I'm guessing a lot of you came over from the Film Theory channel because we pushed specifically to this episode from an episode over there. So welcome. Thank you so much for checking out the new channel Food Theory. I am
Okay.
working to build a community on this new channel that is every bit as passionate
Well,
and
me, I don't
amazing
go
over
to
here
go
about
like
food
Game
and
Theory,
science
but
and
I-
love stupid episodes like this
But
one as they do
Food
over on
Theory,
Film Theory.
we
So the most
do not touch
important way that you can
Kool-Aid.
support Food Theory today is by subscribing. Simple as that.
Right
Ring
then.
the notification bell if you feel like it, but that is the single best thing that you can do for me right now to help this channel really thrive and grow, and tell me that this is the sort of stuff that you like to see. Check out some of the other Food Theory episodes. I promise not all of them are about cartoon beverage mascots. Some of them are actually about food. So check them out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Oh yeah!
Really? You had it, and wait. Okay, that was good though. I really like that though. I really like that because I like Kool-Aid. As a child, and nothing can stop me. I still drinking Kool-Aid. You can't stop me. No one can stop me. I go drink Kool-Aid and no one can stop me. So that's the end of the video. So thank you guys for watching. I will leave a link down below. Check out the video yourself. If you want to react to yourself, link down below. I like it though. Still like it though. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button. Leave contents. Comment down below what tracks you guys will give it to the next. So thank you guys. See you guys another time. Bye bye.
And it goes a little something like.
How can we love you? A summer and after